Alright guys, welcome back. Another vlog for you from myself, the Aereid Lord, and this is for a prediction for episode 12 of season 9 entitled Guardians. And in this episode, we have some preview clips, and I will be taking some screenshots, albeit some of them will be from YouTube videos and such, of people who took the preview clips from Talking Dead and other sources, so bear with me. Also, usually the opening 4 minutes of the episode is uploaded on AMC Premiere, and then people take it and put it on YouTube. So that comes like middle of the week, but I'm filming this the day after episode 11 came out. So just a little bit of perspective there for you. So I won't have any of that juicy information. Like last week, we had that flashback where Jesus came in, and I actually realized in my review for episode 11, I didn't mention the flashback, the opening 4 minutes when Jesus and Tara come in. They give Ezekiel the charter, and there was one comment I saw from a fan who was confused by it. They're like, why is Jesus there? I thought he was dead. Well, it's a flashback. Carol's hair is a giveaway. Her hair is super short. Obviously, we know in the 6-year time jump, she makes it longer. She's comfortable having it longer, not like back in the day, when Henry explained that her first husband, Ed, who died way back in season 1, used to abuse her. She cut her hair short so he couldn't pull on it. But now she feels comfortable with Ezekiel. But, so yeah, we're going to do some predictions for this episode. And from what I'm looking at here, all right, a couple things are going to happen. So Connie and Daryl are going after Henry. Henry's love-crazed, going after Lydia. We see Beta, Frowny McTwo-Knives. All right, no one knows that reference. Well, if you read the comics, you know who Frowny McTwo-Knives is. Frowny McTwo-Knives is also Beta. It's a certain character gives him that nickname, and he doesn't like it. But I'm not gonna talk about that because that's probably not even gonna happen until season 10. So let's just save that. Let's table that for maybe like this summer, and we'll talk about some of those things. All right. Anyway, let's see. Okay, here we go. Beta, in this clip, there's a preview clip. So this was the preview clip that was shown on The Talking Dead. I'm going to show you guys some screenshots of it. We have Lydia just sitting on the ground. She's talking to somebody. I don't know if she's talking to Alpha. I would assume she's talking to Alpha. And then we have Henry, who's in a ditch, looking at the Whisperer camp, like trying to figure out what he's going to do. And then a random Whisperer comes from behind and tells him, like whispers and tells him to drop the stick. Henry's actually a pretty good fighter. Morgan taught him well, and he incapacitates the Whisperer, but as soon as he does that, big old Beta comes looming overhead, and then Henry, I don't know what the hell he was trying to do. He does like an overhead strike, but he doesn't even like hit him with any part of the stick, and then Beta literally just rips the stick out of his hand, throws it, and then like just like he's a sack of potatoes, rips Henry from the ditch and then throws him on the ground right in front of Lydia, right in front of Alpha. Now, Beta mentions that he's been tracking Henry, like he knows that Henry's been tracking them. So he was very aware that Henry was doing this. And then Alpha she bends down and asks, "Who are you?" And then the preview clip cuts. But Lydia is standing right there. We don't get too much of a facial reaction from her, like the fact that this boy literally just followed her to the woods into their camp. However, there is another preview clip when the show ends, and then it does like on next week's episode of The Walking Dead. If you freeze frame it, which I'm going to show you, there's actually Lydia punches Henry. She actually punches him. I don't know if she's just pissed off because he went after looking for her. She tried to tell him before the kiss that like she has to go. This is what's best. Just let it be. He couldn't live with it, as he said. Obviously, Connie and Daryl can't either, but Daryl wasn't willing to take action. But of course, Henry being hormone crazed was of course going to take action. So here we go. The chase is on. The thing is, in another preview clip, Connie shows a letter to Daryl that says, like, her, because she can't hear, so she wrote it down. She says he's caught up with them. So Henry is captured by the Whisperers, and Daryl and Connie are probably going to look for a way to break him free. Will they try to get Lydia as well? I don't know how that dynamic's going to work. Most likely, I would assume that, because Daryl's gotten into this situation before. Does anyone remember at the end of season 6 when he was trying to find Dwight, and then Glenn and Michonne get captured, and then Daryl and Rosita go, and Dwight, he stages the whole thing, and then he shoots Daryl with a pistol from behind. Remember that? Remember Daryl? It was after Denise died. He was he was very vengeful, and he was just head of steam, kind of like how Henry's acting right now. So you know what? Daryl can't be mad, because after Denise died, he was gung-ho, just not listening to advice. And then even Glenn and Michonne caught up to him. They were like, dude, it's going to go wrong out here. And if Daryl hadn't left, you could make the argument that they would have had a bigger force protecting Alexandria, and they might have been able to at least fortify against the Saviors. Now, of course, the Saviors' numbers back then dwarfed Rick, and Rick was going to learn the hard way that Negan was in control back then. But just they put themselves in a vulnerable position by going out there. But anyway, that's the past. I'm just equating it to the fact that Daryl can't be too mad because Henry is making some of those irrational decisions, albeit he's chasing a girl. And Daryl was chasing somebody who he thought was going to be a friend, who he thought was going to be an ally, who he tried to take in, and then Dwight ended up freaking betraying him twice. So he wasn't too happy about that, because he feels like his decisions got Denise killed, and Henry, I think to a greater extent, thinks that Lydia might be killed, further abused, given that she shared her backstory and all the bonding that they did in prison. So we'll see. That seems to be my favorite catchphrase. We'll see. But it you know what? I'm just going to make it my catchphrase at this point, because that every prediction, most of the vlogs I do are predictions. So we'll see is going to be the forthcoming words as we move into the next piece of content. So that's what it's going to be. But we also get Alexandria, and I saw in the preview clips that Michonne and Gabriel, and we haven't seen them in a few episodes. Like the whole Whisperer thing has really centralized the hilltop as the epitome of the action, because that's where Lydia was being held. That's where Alpha went. Imagine if this was happening at Alexandria. Imagine if Lydia was thrown in a prison cell in Alexandria. But now, now you got to remember that Negan's in prison, so you'd have Lydia and Negan in the proximity of a cell, and he's fucking, that would be hilarious if you had that going on. But then Henry never would have met Lydia, and this whole thing would have been totally different. But so they've been using the hilltop so much, and then they had the kingdom last episode with that whole movie projector thing. But yeah, Alexandria has been a little bit left in the dark. I mean, we did have the stuff with Judith and Negan in the premiere, the mid-season premiere, but that was mainly Negan. Like, it didn't really have anything to do with Alexandria. It was mainly Negan, like, finding himself 6 years later and trying to understand what the world had become, the fact that the Sanctuary and his saviors were no longer a force, and he had to accept that. So, my question is, are we going to get Negan scenes in this episode? Because I'm worried that, like, I don't know what the show's doing with him now, because he has that conversation with Judith where he's like, you were right, there's nothing left for me, the Sanctuary's a bust, all my saviors are gone, there's nothing for me. There's actually more for me at Alexandria being your prisoner and talking to you doing math homework than there is anywhere else. Like, there's nowhere for Negan to break out, and I think that was Judith's thinking in episode 9 when he was climbing the wall and she had the gun on him. She was thinking to herself, like, where can he go? Like, other than, you know, starting an electrical fire or just wrecking havoc with his own two hands, there's no army for him to go back to. Like, all of his saviors, they're immersed into other communities. Alden, Laura are two of them. But yeah, all the other saviors are dead. I mean, Carol burned alive Regina and the rest of those, like, marauders that were just lingering around when the Sanctuary went bust. So there's nothing. There's nothing left for Negan. It's not like it would have been a bigger issue in the comics, because in the comics, the Sanctuary still is thriving and there's new leadership. That's not the case in the show. The Sanctuary is just done. Like, I don't know if I don't think they'll ever go back to the Sanctuary. Now that they've shown it 6 years later and Negan's accepted it, I don't think they'll ever use that filming location again. Just in my opinion. There's no reason, unless you're going to show a flashback, which in the flashback in last week's episode, when they opened the charter, you can see that there's a spot for the sanctuary. There's a spot for all of the communities: Alexandria, Kingdom, Hilltop, Oceanside, and the sanctuary. All 5. There's a spot for a signature on each spot. And I really want to know, like, because the sanctuary was still going at that point. So something happened. Maybe it has something to do with the X's. There's something happened in that 5-year time jump. We don't know what it is. I'm going to make a separate vlog talking about that. The whole X's mystery, Michonne and Daryl, the secrets they're harboring, the animosity between Michonne and Maggie that happened before Maggie left. There's a huge mystery amongst the Whispers, amongst everything going on. There's an internal mystery that's really, I'm not getting it. It has something to do with Rick and like them thinking he's dead, and then Maggie and her decision to leave. There's something with that, and I don't know what it is, but I want to try to crack the code, all right? And we're going to do that in a separate vlog, but I'm just giving you my predictions for now. So in the preview clips also, I mean, it shows Henry tied to a tree. It shows him being held like with a knife to his throat. It looks like Alpha is trying to get Lydia to kill him. Like, basically, like, prove that you're one of us by killing something that's a resemblance of the old world. Like, this boy is innocent. He's part of society. He doesn't understand our way of thinking. He tracked us, and he's a liability. So it looks like, because she throws the knife on the ground, you see Lydia is kind of crying, conflicted. She doesn't know what to do. I don't think Henry's going to die in next week's episode, if you guys are asking me, because I actually did watch Talking Dead last night, and they usually have actors and guests relevant to the episode, and the actor who plays Henry, Matt Lintz, is not on next week's Talking Dead, unless it's an unannounced arrival, but they have 2, I think, who is it? It's Father Gabriel and Rosita, I think? Those are the 2 actors. They only have 2. There's 2, but it's from the Alexandria portion, so it doesn't actually have anything, like, we're not getting any new actors, we're not getting the Alpha or Lydia or Beta, we're not getting Henry, like, we're not getting any of the characters involved with the Whisperer Camp plot. We're getting some from the Alexandria plot, so that's on Talking Dead. So I used that as a clue. I said to myself, okay, Henry won't die. Maybe this is where Alpha maybe disowns Lydia. Maybe Lydia, like, finally puts her foot down and makes a decision. But then how's Daryl going to factor into that? Is he going to, fire a crossbow bolt and try to kill a Whisperer and sneak in and try to get Henry? And then how's Connie, with the deaf? I think that's cool, though. I like that Connie went, because I really like that sequence, as I told you guys in my review. I love that sequence when she gets the baby and it's all muffled. You can barely hear anything. Thumping, the bass. She's running through the cornfield. She's hacking zombies. At any moment, a Whisperer or a zombie could come out and try to kill her. Really high intensity. I love that scene a lot. And so if we have more of that with her and Daryl trying to find Henry, hey, I'm all for it. That would be really, really cool. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that chase dynamic, because you got Henry at the camp. Obviously, it looks like, he gets captured, and Lydia's going to have to make some sort of decision on whether she lets this boy live or not. Does she actually have feelings for him? Do those feelings, transcend? Do they go back to wanting to be a civilized person again? Because that's ultimately what Henry wants. He ultimately wants her to become a part of the Hilltop, to never go back to the Whispers, and obviously he probably wants to be romantically interested in her at some point. That they made that very clear with the kiss in last night's episode. So we shall see. Sticking to my catchphrase, we shall see what happens with poor old Henry. I just hope this doesn't get him killed. I don't think they'll do it, though. I mean, this kid is Carl's replacement. They just killed off Carl last season, a year ago at this time, and they brought in, Henry, having him age up, moving from the younger Lintz to Matt Lintz, having 2 different actors playing Henry, and now Henry taking on Carl's iconic storyline with Lydia. It makes the most sense, obviously, that he'll live and that he'll fulfill his storyline and romance with Lydia as we move forward. But how they do it could change. Obviously, we're awaiting some major comic moments waning down into season 9. But will Henry die in this episode? No, that's my prediction. Will Daryl rescue Henry? I think Daryl, you know what? maybe Daryl will put, like, a Whisperer mask on, because it would resonate with when Lydia said to him, like, you don't belong with these people, you belong with us, like the way you act being in the woods. Maybe the ultimate disguise is to use their own weapon against them. Like, if he is dressed as a Whisperer, then he's blended in with them. Because that's the thing, like, the Whisperers use their skin to blend amongst the zombies. But if an adversary takes their own skins, then they don't know if that person's a zombie or not. So, like, it's like you can trick a Whisperer just as much as you could trick a person. Because also, the Whisperers aren't assuming, like, they probably kill most people they come across. So they're probably not expecting other people to be aware of their strategies. It's the same thing, remember in episode 9 when Daryl shoots the legs of the zombies because he wants to figure out which one's a Whisperer, and then he hits that one guy and he kills over and the zombies eat him? Like, they're not expecting that because most people are just, they're used to the apocalypse, so they're like, oh, that's a zombie, I'm just gonna go kill it. Just like Jesus takes a swing, misses, the person dies because they have those knives up their sleeves to get the easy kill. Because it's the element of surprise. But if you use the same element against them, I think that I think the Whisperers are going to be in for it. And Daryl, obviously an expert tracker, he's been at this a hell of a long time. I trust his survival skills more than Henry. I mean, Henry's already fucking captured in the preview. We already see him captured. So it's really going to come down to Lydia's decision. Like, what does she do? There's the scene where it's they're in that another clearing. They always love these fucking clearings, like the clearings in the woods. It's dark out. It's in a clearing. I mean, it's the perfect tension drama moment. They always love doing this, always. So, so yeah, guys, those are some of my predictions. I imagine that the Alexandria stuff will be Michonne and Gabriel and the council arguing about whether they should go to the fair. I imagine some of the pain points from the past will come back that I hope they reveal. It seems like they're going to eventually. From the synopsis of episode 14, it looks like that's the episode we're going to get our flashbacks to what happened that divided all these freaking communities after Rick Grimes was taken in the helicopter. So we're finally going to figure that out eventually. But it seems like we're going to get some preliminary talks about that. And then also Rosita's crazy sex life. Is she going to reveal that she's pregnant with Sadiq's kid after Eugene just confessed her love and she has to go tell Gabriel because Gabriel's assuming they're in a relationship? Oh, my gosh, Rosita, you skanky skank. Sleeping with so many people. My gosh, how do you not have chlamydia? All right, anyway, that's about it from me. I'm just some basic predictions. It'd be cool to see some more flashbacks. It'd be cool if Negan had some more fucking airtime. I really hope that he has at least a few more scenes. Like they can't just forget about him locked up in jail because, yeah, they had a whole episode kind of dedicated to him. Although you had some of the hilltop stuff with Lydia, but for, him exploring, going around, yeah, you had the episode that was for him in that exploration. But like, don't just leave the guy in prison. Like, he's such a big part of the Whisper thing. Like, I want him to meet Beta and Alpha. That comic issue 156 is probably one of the best, the funniest fucking piece of information of literature that Kirkman has ever written. Some of the jokes and things that Negan says to the Whisperers are so hilarious. And I need it adapted. I know it's probably not going to be adapted till season 10, but show me the seeds. Show me Negan doing stuff. I want to see him rehabilitated, talking to Judith, maybe pleading his case to Michonne and other people. Like, hey, I'm a changed person, and maybe you should trust me. And I don't know. Let's see where it goes. We'll see. That's my new catchphrase from now on. I think, guys, can we trademark it? All right, I'm going to trademark that. All right, just put in a good note for the copyright office for me, and we should be good to go. All right, cool. All right, guys, thank you for watching. This is the Arid Lord's predictions for episode 12, and there will be more vlogs coming in the week. I'm going to try to stay very consistent moving through with this season because I think you guys like the consistency, and I love making these vlogs, and we're going to keep pounding them out because we are in some really, really muddy territory, some really cool, creepy territory. And our boy Beta is here, and we're in for a treat, guys. We're in for a treat. So, all right, thanks. Peace out. See you later.